Hello. This is Dr. Yates in Chicago with Neil. You've seen Neil on some other videos of mine, and what we're doing is we're just showing you where you can go if you start from something like this. Okay, you can see that. Neil, is that you?
That is I.
Now take a look at that. So that what we would call a Hamilton Norwood 6, which means that the front, the mid-scalp, and the vertex actually are devoid of hair. The thing that Neil had was he has lots of good donor. It's all supply and demand. You can't give anybody a lot of hair if they don't have a lot of donor hair. And we always say we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So when we take hair from the donor, it thins the donor to make this thicker. You don't get any more hair. So when you leave the office, or even now, Neil, you have the same amount of hair here as you have right now. And that's like a hard concept for people to understand. You don't get any more hair because the hair we take from the donor, we take it by the root or by the bulb, and it grows up here, and the hair on the sides and the back gets thinner. So you understand that, but a lot of people, when they come in, they don't get that concept. It's very important. So, Neil, let's see if and when we do videos, we always want to show you, like if you comb the hair, Neil has about a little over 3,000 grafts up here, and we went from front basically to the end of the mid-scalp. We haven't done much in his vertex, and we're going to do that today. And you can see that he has nicely combable hair. His hairline, I think the dynamics of the hairline are fine. We always put like fine 1 and 2 hair grafts in the hairline, so if you can do like this, it doesn't look like spikes, like porcupine hair. And we plant the hair the same way as hair grows. So people always say, will I be able to comb my hair this way or that way? And I tell them you can comb your hair any way you did before because we do it the same way. So you turn here, he's wearing a part here, and you can see the difference that framing your face makes, that how much larger the forehead structures look, because he has a very cylindrical face, and just this hair here framing his face kind of changes how he looks. Let's take a look back here. Let's look at his donor, full of hair in the donor. And we're going to, capitalize on that, work more in the vertex, and actually thicken up this front a little bit as well. Anytime I go back and do more work, I always go back to the hairline and do a little bit more so we can just finesse that a little better. But Neil, now your turn to talk. What do you think about, your hair transplant? You have like, 3,200 grafts up here. You started with nothing up there basically, like a blank canvas. So we had a blank canvas to start. And I know when anyone has a hair transplant, it's all done on blind faith, at least the first time. You go to the internet and you choose, your doctor's the greatest in the world. Why? Because he or she says so. So, Neil, what do you say about your whole, how has the transplant changed your life?
Well, from a vanity standpoint, I'm going to say it's taken several years off. People who talk to me at work and on the streets, when age comes up, it has taken 12 to 15 years off the age they guess me to be. And I recently started a job last September in 2015. And image does matter on an interview. And I have no doubt they realized I was an older applicant, but I'm going to say that somewhere in the background, in their mind, they're going to say, this guy kind of takes care of himself. He, just hasn't, hasn't aged, he's
like other people.
Yeah, he's fought the age.
Right. And because you're thin, you have hair,
and I think
you're smart.
Well, thank you. But I think it's an image that a lot of companies are going to look for. And if you're an older applicant, if you could have some of the hair filled in, I think it's going to give you an edge on the interviews.
I think so too. Why do you think a lot of men are scared of having a hair transplant? You were never really scared. When I first met you, you weren't scared. But what would you say, why does it stop people from doing it? If you can go from this to this reliably, why wouldn't you do it? That's what I don't understand. Why wouldn't you do it? Cost aside, because people, if you want something, you can find a way to do it.
I would tend to say, as men get older, they tend to get more fixed in their ways, and they may be afraid of stepping out of the straight and narrow from what they've originally known. And folks, take a dive off the board, the water's fine.
Well, I don't think I could have said it better. Take a dive off the board, the water's fine. So, Neil, we're going to do a little bit more. So 6 months, 8 months from now, We'll show you his vertex as we're going to work in that area today. We're also going to do a little bit more in the hairline. We always refinesse the hairline. So thanks for watching.